see for yourself. I be posted low key like a nigga.
What's the deal, YouTube? It's your boy Neptune the Goon, and I'm back at y'all with another Say Less Moments reaction. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hype this thing up if you don't like this thing up. Come on, man, get up with me. Don't do me bad. It's your boy. Well, who want to chop and block today? Lil CK from BPS. Watching this vlog with Lil CK Chief. It was like the way Respectable Rants ran it down in this video I'm about to play. It's the story of all of our lives. You know, the only thing is, you know, Lil CK Chief, his big homie, cousin, was from Harlem, right? And I'm pretty sure Lil CK Chief knew that. Just like when I grew up, the homies knew who I pointed out, like, hey, that's my cousin. All they used to ask me was, is that your blood cousin? I didn't know why. I used to be like, hell yeah, like, man, I ain't lying. I didn't know people back in the day used to lie about that. Why? I was so honest, but at the same time, the homies, since I grew up in my area, I was never known to be a liar. So when other dudes would say, this is my cousin, and it really ain't, that's probably why he asked me that. But when he asked me that the first time, I was like, yeah, like, why wouldn't I tell you that's my cousin? Like, what do you think I'm just going to point out the card? Yeah, that's my cousin. That's my cousin too. That's my cousin. It wasn't 2020 nothing. We were still in the early 90s or maybe early 2000s. Not no 2020 nothing. Not no 2010 nothing. I wasn't used to that. So when I used to see my homeboys, aka cousins, real blood cousins, I used to tell the homies. Even if we drove by and they didn't even pay attention, I'd be like, yeah, that's my cousin whoop-de-whoop. That's my cousin whoop-de-whoop. Just so you know, even if they on the other side, I'm just telling you who my relatives is. And the reason for me telling you this is me, my brothers and sisters, mom and dad, if he RIP, we have to go. And then to know it was you later on down the line, it would only be my bad if I didn't tell you. Now, if I told you and you did it, that's different. The hood would deal with you. It wouldn't even be just me. But that's the difference. But with Lil CK Chief, his big homie, blood relative, was from Harlem. I know you had to know who his relative was, because even if you one of the originators that was there day one with the Baby Stone Gorillas. So what you telling me is you the baby BPSs at that time. Because it's been babies when I was babies. So if you a baby in the new 2000 babies, y'all some new babies on a new block. Hey, I ain't from BPSN. And I ain't finna go back and forth. I'm just understanding from my side. I'm not telling you how your hood run. I'm just saying it was babies when I was a baby. So, I don't know. I'm 41 and them was babies. You dig? Y'all Baby Stone Gorillas in the 2020s. I'm out. Can't debate. Can't go back and forth. I don't know what y'all niggas got going on. But one thing I do know is I got a pretty strong feeling Lil CK Chief, you knew who your big homie's relative was from Harlem. With that being said, how would your outlook look to you and your homies in the hood? Because you know you got older homies that know that your big homie, the dude that just rest in peace down the street, is your big homie's relative. And they told you that. Even if you already knew it. Your big homie, they didn't speak on. Because I'm pretty sure if he was out, you wouldn't even thought to do that. Facts. But they did say he made a comment, blah, 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 blah. So he must have already been in jail. Hey, Lil CK Chief. And I done met a couple of dudes to where they big homie, rest in peace, or they big homie is doing life in prison, and they took his name and did what they wanted and act like his name was their name, and they toted it. Didn't even put the little no more. Just put CK Chief. Like he was still there. Yep. I've been around that long. They say you finna come home very, very soon. But one thing I know about the internet and how they do everybody. Lil CK Chief, with respectable rants, putting your business out there like that, and you still in prison, you think you safe in that jail cell? What if you been in there all this time and respectable rants just put your business out there on the internet, and you know all them jail niggas, they got cell phones like Baby B Braves, and they just got enlightened to what got put on the internet? They said you coming home soon, right? This is Say Less Moments. Is that a fact?
Bryce did it again.
Homicide investigators are now looking into this deadly shooting that happened in South Los Angeles. Take a look. This happened just before midnight near the intersection of 54th. Officers responded to a call of a shooting. Officers found a man in his mid-20s had been shot multiple times. He died at the scene. The suspect is still on the loose. Take a listen to what else LAPD had to share.
Free Lil Chief, I hope he get a better sentence. Screaming free my dogs, free the ones who kept his stitch lit.
In today's video, we're going to be talking about Lil CK Chief from the Black P Stones. We're going to break down everything from his cases to how he would be arrested and sentenced for the murder of Scotty from Rolling 30's, and how he would be one of the original members of Baby Stone Gorillas. But let's dive into it. Lil CK Chief would be one of the main faces out of BPS. with the lineage of CK Chiefs being legendary in the Baldwin Village area. But now we're going to dive into his first adult arrest, and he was arrested on June 28th of 2021 at the age of 18. And he would be booked and charged for 1 count of evading police with a disregard for safety. And as you can see to the right, the offense date would be the same exact day that he was arrested. And it's alleged that him and a few members from BPS were driving around. They would see Lil CK Chief driving and they would attempt to pull him over. Crash would put on their lights and CK Chief would take him on a high-speed chase. He would then have to sit in the county jail fighting this case. But 1 week after he was arrested, they would file a new case on him on June 7th of 2021 while he was still in the county. And they would charge Lil CK Chief with 1 count of murder. He would have a co-defendant on this case also, who would be Mad Max. But as you can see to the right, the offense dates June 11th of 2021, which would be almost a month before he was arrested for this case. And that would be 2 weeks before he took Crash on a high-speed chase. And they would be accused of killing Marion Scott Lewis III, who was 22 years old at the time of his death, and he was shot on 54th Street and 4th Avenue in Hyde Park. He was shot on June 11th, but sadly he would lose his life the next day, on June 12th while in the hospital. And his cause of death would be multiple gunshot wounds. And Marion Scott Lewis III would also be known as Scotty from the Rollin' 30's. But here's a crazy twist to the story, because rumor has it is that Scotty from the Rollin' 30's is actually Big CK Chief's blood cousin. And obviously Lil CK Chief would be under Big CK Chief. And this right here would be an Instagram story from Big CK Chief. And as you can see, he would post Scotty from Rollin' 30's. And he would say, "Love you 5 life," with a broken heart. And Chucksta, who would be a known rapper from BPS, would also post Scotty from the Rollin' 30's. And he would post "Rest Easy Scotty Pop." So clearly you can see that even though Scotty was from the Rollin' 30's, he had love from some BPS members. So now at this time, Lil CK Chief would be fighting 2 cases. 1 case of evading police, and 1 case for murder. He would then have to sit in the county jail fighting them cases. But 3 months after being charged with the murder, he would be charged with another crime. And they would charge him on October 13th of 2022. And they would book him for 1 count of robbery and 1 count of taking a vehicle without consent. He would then have to sit in the county jail for about the next year, fighting all 3 of these cases. But on March 7th of 2023, he would take a plea deal on the murder. And luckily for Lil CK Chief, he would plead no contest, and he would have the murder reduced to assaulting a person with a semi-automatic firearm, and he would have the murder dismissed. And on that same day of March 7th of 2023, they would sentence Lil CK Chief to 9 years in state prison. And as for his co-defendant Mad Max, he would plead no contest to the murder on July 13th of 2023, which would be 4 months after Lil CK Chief took his plea deal. And they would give Mad Max 15 years to life in state prison, where he's eligible for parole. But 3 months after taking the plea deal, Lil CK Chief would take a plea deal on the evading police, and they would give him 16 months in state prison for that. But as you can see, he would be able to run that concurrent. And on that same day of June 15th of 2023, he would take a plea deal on the robbery, and he would have the taking the vehicle without consent dismissed. And they would give him 3 years in state prison for the robbery. But as you can see, he would be able to run this concurrent also. So technically, he only has to do 9 years in total out of all 3 of these crimes. And Lil CK Chief is actually eligible for parole in October of 2026. So if he comes home this year, maybe he can be the missing piece for the Baby Stone Gorillas, because don't forget, he was already a Baby Stone Gorilla member. But that right there is going to wrap it up for the story of Lil CK Chief from BPS, and I appreciate you guys.
Yo, look, check this out, nigga. I'm a civilian. Any nigga plotting and planning on harming me, killing me, you're going to jail. You are going to jail. The boys are going to take you to jail. Yeah, I'm calling the police, nigga. This shit ain't no motherfucking game. I am a civilian, a non-affiliate. You threaten my life, you try to harm me, I got 2 strikes in the ankle monitor. You're going to jail.
Burn Avenue, nigga! I'm on parole, bitch! West side 40's, I'm off this motherfucker!
D Street.
I'm on parole, get this! Get off parole, nigga! On parole, nigga, I'm off this motherfucker! No, ain't mate, nigga! And he gave me my glove chain back! West side 40's, nigga! I'm on parole, Burn Avenue! Chris, show the fit! Nigga, I'm on parole! Let's go, cuz! Burn that!
I'm on the track and I told it for really, I'm blowing my bag. I take virginity, hotter than everything. I let these bitches boy hit from the back. Don't need protection for real. I don't need a license to kill. My giggity pop me a pill. I funny women for real. I told you I'm on your bill. Buy me a bitch, I say giggity good. I made this bitch on the internet too. I'm on this side with my boy Little Stu. We done beat it so hard that we tended this stool. I told him this Johnny, they better be damn. Rick, we laser until my fan. If I see a object, I ain't put a hand. A rock full of Peter like come to the clam.